What's happening, guys? Mike from Metacomics coming at you again with another comic book review. Today I'm going to be talking about Uncanny X Men number 23. Alright, so Uncanny X Men is not a book that I have been regularly keeping up with. There's not a lot of X Men titles that really seem to catch my interest enough to draw me in regularly to read. I know that's like blasphemy for a lot of Marvel fans, but I'm more of a Hulk, Wolverine, Solo, kind of Avengers type of dude, so that's more my style, so I don't read a lot of the X-Men books. But after reading this issue, which is an Original Sin tie-in, which by far has been one of the best events that Marvel's put out in quite some time, I've decided to go ahead and check this book out much more regularly. In fact, I'm going to be keeping up with it probably from now on. Going to add it into my pull list. So that's how good this issue really was, just on as a standalone by itself. Now, there is a lot going on here that I don't quite fully grasp because I haven't kept up with it, but not enough to deter me from reading future issues at all. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into what this story is about overall. Now, just to give you a quick breakdown without giving away any spoilers, this story starts with She-Hulk getting an envelope that contains Charles Xavier's last will and testament. Since she's a lawyer, that seems to fit. She takes this to the X-Men and says, hey, I've got this and you guys have to read it. This has information in it that is extremely explosive. But the stipulations are that everyone has to be present before it can be legally read. And that includes, dun dun dun, Scott Summers. So that's kind of the overall gist of the story. There is also some really good side story stuff with Cyclops going on in there as well, and Dazzler has some really powerful moments in this issue that I won't spoil. So all in all, this really tied together to be a super fantastic issue. I really liked that there was a strong emphasis on character building and development, especially with Scott and Dazzler and the different things that they're going through. Scott is being humbled, having to admit that as a leader he's made some mistakes. He doesn't always have everything figured out like he tends to think he does. And so it's nice to see him kind of, even though he's, I guess what I would consider sort of a villain now in a way, seeing that transformation I think was interesting. Very, very interesting. Good character development. The same thing with Dazzler. How basically, I'm going to try not to give too much of it away. Basically, she is depressed and she's on the hunt for Mystique, for the things that Mystique put her through, and she's having to learn to deal with the depression and the hurt and the anger that's come with her desire for revenge, and it's not necessarily turning out very well. So it was very interesting. I won't go into it any further than that. There was a lot of suspense in this issue. I was dying to know what was in that will and testament. It's obviously something really huge. So I'm excited to see where it will pick up and get to the bottom of whatever it is that is so, mind-blowing in this will and testament. So that's going to be interesting. I really like the added drama and tension with Scott needing to be present for the will to be read. I think that is a really good touch, really adds some extra drama, putting the guy that nobody really likes right now in the middle of their little group, and just seeing how people are going to react to that. I think there was a new character named Matthew who's introduced. I think they did a good job of bringing him in. And I have some predictions about who I think Matthew is, but I'm not going to go into him here. I'll let you guys figure it out for yourself. It's very character-driven, like I said before. There's not a whole lot of action, so if you're looking for, something with a lot of fighting in it, you're not going to get it here. This is really heavy on character and conversation and things like that. Now, there was a couple things I didn't like. The art was good, but it wasn't very consistent. Like some pages it was really, really stellar. Other pages it was like, I don't know. And there wasn't a whole lot of action, so at times the pace seemed a little slow. But that's a minor gripe for something that was very, very good in the storytelling department. So I can live with that. Overall, I give the issue a 9 out of 10, which for me is very high, so that should tell you how much I really enjoyed the issue. I'm really loving the whole Original Sin series, the event, and all the tie-ins, well, most of the tie-ins. I'm not digging the Original Sins Young Avengers deal. That's a whole nother story. This was very good. It's turned me into a regular reader now of the Uncanny X Men, so I will be checking out future issues and reviewing them from this point forward more than likely. So yeah, that's all I got, guys. I will see you in the next review. If you haven't checked out this particular book or the Original Sin series, make sure you go do that. All right, guys. See you in the next one.